Education and Advocacy Taskforce. Sisonke Gender Justice are today observing the International Day for No Violence Against Sex Workers, a day that's been set aside to remember sex workers who passed away. We talk about the significance of this day now with Katlego Rasebitse. He is, of course, from Sisonke Media Liaison here in Gauteng. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me.
Now, this day was founded when? Back in 2003, 15 years later, when you look back. What has it achieved?
The day has now, started. Remember, at first, when the day was achieved, it was not easy for us as a country to be celebrating it. I remember at first the sex workers had to wear masks, when they wanted to do the international for sex workers, but to the bylaws, lots of, after the march, then there will be lots of robberies. People just wear masks and start robbing people, and they will think it's sex workers. So by then, sex workers have now become more comfortable in celebrating in open spaces without even hiding. And clearly, we have seen lesser and lesser violence that's happening to sex workers because of the celebration of the day, because now sex workers are able to say, share the spaces that this happens to me, and I feel like I'm comfortable around this. And I'm excited that as South Africa, this is for the first time actually, whereby this day it's been celebrated in all the provinces. But lookingly, this day was, it's supposedly to be celebrated the 17th of December, but due because it's the 16th, sex workers, they'll be out there, making money, my sister. But we decided let's celebrate before the 16th. Of December, and some of the organization, because we are organization based, we will be closed. So for Christmas and festive season, so we decided, let's use today and commemorate, because the whole day was based on a very sad statistics.
Because that's exactly what I wanted to ask you, Katlego. Are you celebrating or commemorating the day? We
commemorate, our own black fellow South African who passed away. Like I'll make an example. What happened today in Yeovil, where we had about plus minus 53 sex workers who came together, and we put flip charts all over the world. Like we sit in a huge circle, and we ask each one to take a magic marker and write on a flip chart the names of sex workers that you remembered. Amazingly, people, when we counted names, 177 people who were remembered today, and that's sad. And people, went into a very traumatic experience, remembering their friends. Some they couldn't let go for us to read the names, how she died or how he died. They will just write, and then they will just stand, but they will still, remembering the day, because it was very significant to them. And not only that, also the candle lighting. It was a very significant, whereby like Sweat also intervened, and then we had a moment of silence, whereby like, cause we feel as sex workers are not given enough spaces to remember some of their colleagues, their fellow heroes, who are all, my friends, my body, were protecting each other. So this is the only time where like we feel like South African sex workers, it's best that, we commemorate those who also died in the land of violence.
Yeah. So between January and November 2018, we're looking at 26 reported deaths of sex workers here in South Africa. Why is this still happening?
It's happening because, my sister, to be frank with you, as we sit now, we have approached the multi-sectoral caucuses in Parliament, where the matter to decriminalize sex work is still being, a thing that needs to be discussed. I'm aware of certain political parties, of which I'll never give them airtime today to mention them, that they said we call and we support the call to decriminalize sex work. But if you were to ask what specifically, what does that mean? The implementation of the call, what does it mean? Because sometimes it's so easy to say, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we out there as them doing SXXX, we say we support the call for decriminalization of sex work. I know we're going through now an era where we are going to vote as a country. Lots of them will come again, and we support the call for to decriminalize sex work.
So are you saying, as Sweat and Sisonke, that you're not winning this battle?
We are winning.
Because remember, here we are still sitting here, it hasn't been decriminalized. And you've been fighting for this for years now.
Yeah, but for the fact that Cyril Ramaphosa, as a chair of SANAC in 2016, he launched an NSP for sex workers. It means we are going somewhere. Remember, there's no NSP for sex workers in this country. It was just people living. But for the fact that Ramaphosa, and we're looking at him, and we're going to hold him accountable, because he said, he also supported the call to decriminalize sex work. And now that he's president, we're quite excited to be like, Mr. Ramaphosa, come, you're no longer now the chair of SANAC, you are the president of the country. What are you doing now? So next year we're coming with guns all out, gloves off, making sure every political party, movement that has promised, black and white, that we call to support the criminalization of sex work.
But in the meantime,
Yes.
what do you do to protect sex workers belonging to your organizations and other organizations? Because the reality is we still see cases happening of sex workers being assaulted.
You know, the
And so
best thing that in the movement, which is Sisonke, the national-led sex workers movement, was to make sure that sex workers, they speak out. The power that could have given sex workers was to make sure that sex workers start speaking out and sex workers
But
know
what
their
does
rights.
speaking out help?
Remember,
How does it help? You speak out and then what happens?
Because it has reduced a lot of...
Because some complain that they
Yes.
take their cases to police stations, but
Yeah,
nothing
it has,
happens.
it has reduced. Remember, we have taken steps to court, whereby like we won the case, whereby like the court ruled that SEPs, they clearly said that they were not yet sensitized around sex workers issue. Remember, our SEPs, they don't know that you need court in the act, there must be a transaction and the witness in court. So as long as you're a girl, beautiful as you are, standing in a robot in Rosebank or Oxford Road, then they suspect you are a sex worker because they lose evidence, condom as evidence. But for the fact that we took them to court and the court ruled that they need to be sensitized around sex workers issue, it clearly shows that as a country moving one step ahead, my sister.
All right, I suppose we'll call you once you come out guns blazing to the president next. So that's next year. You engage with the president next year. All right, Katlego, we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
All right, many thanks there to Katlego Rasebitse from Sisonke. He's the Media Liaison Officer here in Gauteng, talking to us about today, where they were commemorating, of course, this important day where some sex workers had lost their lives back in 2003. Peter?
Thanks, Felix.